For someone as so humble and so honest and just a hard worker, and if you look at him, you wouldn't look at him and say you're a world-class athlete unless you saw him run. And when he runs, he's fearless and looks phenomenal.
Huge talent, Jake Smith, coached by James Thee down in Cardiff, who has huge hopes for this young man. Personal best of 62 minutes, but Thee thinking he could go under 61 minutes today, which would certainly put him amongst the top Europeans. Smith, 60.31. Brilliant run for the Briton, Jake Smith. El Goumri, 60.30. These are great times.
I think it's still a bit nuts. Like you might have seen on the TV when as soon as I crossed that line, I just started crying, and it was the first time I met Seb Coe, and I think he might remember it, but I was like that person who cried in his arms really. So. Since then it has been absolutely incredible, like the support I've got off Welsh Athletics, and then so many friends have just been so good. And actually 2 days ago Steve Jones actually called me from America, and which was really nice to say just well done on the Welsh record, and he actually said he thinks me and Dowie Griffiths are going to have some quite good battles over the years, so it's going to be quite interesting, and just to see that I have his support as well. And when you think about like Welsh Athletics running, you always go back to Steve Jones, so it was like a fanboy moment really at the time.
He came to Cardiff Met 3 years ago, having run a 70-minute half marathon, 15.5 5k, 32.5 minute 10k. The next year ran 64 minutes for the half marathon, 14.5 minutes 5k, 29.5 for 10k. The next year went 62 minutes for half marathon, 14 minutes for 5k, and then 29 minutes for 10k. It was a bit mental because I actually just wanted to see how close I get to 61 minutes, and I saw Steve Jones just broke 61 minutes. He ran like 60.58, and it was quite funny during the race. You kind of know what pace you're on, and about 15k I was like, oh my god, I'm actually going to beat his record, and it was just crazy. And as soon as I crossed that line, like when you think about Steve Jones, like what he did in the past, he broke the world record for the marathon, so to be on his level is just amazing. It's like what I've grown up to want to do when I was younger. Like I've followed the same training program I have previously. So when I ran in Paris last year in 62 flat, I have followed the exact same training program. Just in sessions, my sessions have been a lot quicker this time, and it's one of those things because I think the pace I averaged for the race was like 4:37 per mile. And I knew in training I was beating that on most days anyway. And I think as well, when I ran a 10k time trial in the summer during lockdown and ran 28 flat on the track, I knew I was in very good shape. And I think from the training I knew I was in 61 low shape, but then it was just on that day I just felt brilliant. The race was what I wanted, what I needed. There was no wind. And it wasn't hilly, but there was like, at the start, there was like a slight hill, and the last mile was downhill, so I just tried to fly on that downhill, and it paid off. Yeah, and then the ultimate aim is the Olympic qualifying time, because that's 27:28, and I think because I ran 28 flat on the track with just some of the boys pacing me around Tonopanu track, there were like young people cycling around the track, people playing football in the middle, so it wasn't like the best place to do it, but that's the aim. And I think hopefully, like depending on COVID, but I'll hopefully going to America for 5 weeks and then doing this thing called the Peyton Jordan 10k, where I'll try and run the Olympic qualifying time. I think to have a current student that's come through, and again, just being such a pleasure to look after, I think anyone that's met him would just wish him all the best. And but yeah, you certainly wouldn't want to be on a start line with him, because yeah, he's ferocious when he's on that start line.